Welcome back to the Launchpad. I went away for about 18 days to South Korea and now I'm back in Nottingham. It's now time to start processing all the sort of thoughts and emotions and things I've been through over the past few years into songs for my new record. And as this is the space where I'm going to be making that record, I thought I'd give you a little sneak peek, a little quick sneak peek into what it looks like after transforming it from a very dingy attic bedroom into this land of dreams that I've created for myself, full of pictures that I've collected over the years and all sorts of trinkets and bits and bobs and instruments and everything. Everything I need to make a record and everything I need to feel creatively inspired while I'm writing a record. I shot this footage ages ago actually because I've been meaning to make a proper studio walkthrough video, and hopefully I will do that in the near future, but I am trying to realise my limitations now, especially after being away for a couple of weeks, being off the internet, being off social media. I've been back for about 4 days and I feel like I'm just about getting back into the swing of things. So here is another Tea and Empathy episode in my KTAB Magical Weirdo cup. Highly recommended. And I know you've been dying to find out whether I did in fact eat an eel in South Korea, and I can tell you, I did not. Couldn't do it. Couldn't bring myself to do it. I'm still processing my feelings about my trip away. So far away to a country that I had visited very briefly a long time ago and just had no idea about. Obviously Asia is absolutely huge and I wouldn't expect any country to be like any other country in that vast continent. But as someone who has mostly spent time in the UK, in Europe and sometimes in America, it's easy to get used to things being kind of comfortable and understandable. And so each Asian country I've been to has been just a whirlwind of different sights and sounds and signs to not be able to understand or process or have any hope of dealing with the onslaught of information that's coming at you that's so completely different to what you're used to. And there's something so wonderful about that. It's exactly what the two of us wanted from the trip. But I will admit that I was running out of steam a little bit at the end of this trip. And that doesn't happen to me often. It has happened. It happened to me when I went to Indonesia for 7 weeks, 6 weeks. It was quite a long time, but that's not normal for me. And I find that interesting. And I don't think that's bad. It's no reflection on South Korea. I had a wonderful time, and if I'd had more time to spend there, then I would have happily stayed. But holidays can't last forever, and I have an album to make, so I am really pleased to be home. And it was really nice actually, sitting on that very, very long plane journey on the way back, being excited about coming home, being excited about spending time in this room and sitting around working on demos and stuff, and just really appreciating and feeling thankful for the life I have been able to create through making music and sharing videos and all the things I do. Just being really excited to get back to my work and to my life and to my dogs and to my house and everything, and I don't take that for granted because there have definitely been times in my life where I wouldn't have been rushing back to my life because my life wasn't how I wanted it to be, and being on holiday would have been a much more appealing prospect. But I think it's really good that I don't want to be on holiday forever. Hey mate. I've returned feeling much calmer and much more hopeful that I can actually make the things I want to make at possibly maybe half the speed that I want to make them at. And before I went away, I just thought I was writing lists of things that were impossible. And now, having had a bit of a break and a reset, I still think the lists look a little bit impossible, but I'm willing to try, and I feel like I've got more energy to try at least, and to not beat myself up at the end of the day when I haven't achieved everything I wrote down. And so to that end, this week, a big difference in what I've been doing is, as well as having a daily and a kind of weekly plan that I write at the start of the week and the start of each day, I've also been keeping a done list, and that's at the top of that document, so that every time I open it, and I basically keep it open all day and see what I'm supposed to be doing next, I can see the things I've done and I can feel like I've made some progress this week. And I've made some really big progress this week, even though I was jet lagged for the first couple of days. I have faced up to a really big admin accounting thing that I've been putting off for ages because it felt so overwhelming. And what I've done is spent every morning at least 2 hours just chipping away at it, and it's pretty much nearly done. And it's just another example of one of those things that you have on a list for ages, you get so sick of seeing it on the to-do list, you finally get around to starting it, and it doesn't take anywhere near as much time or energy as you thought. So let that be a lesson to me once again. Another thing I'm trying out, which comes from my friend Dan Cat and I's conversation that I referenced in the first comeback episode of Tea and Empathy a few weeks ago, which is not only chipping away at the admin stuff, as I have been doing this week, but also making sure to switch over to creative work in the afternoon. Instead of what I normally would do, and kind of what I feel like doing today, having a really productive morning of admin, and then thinking, oh, well, if I just spent all afternoon on that same thing, I could have it done by the end of the day and then I can move on to other things. Because I think what that's telling my brain is that my creative work is not more important than the admin work, which supports the creative work in the first place. And that is bad, and that is not what I want for my life. So yesterday I had this really joyful day where I spent like 3 hours really intensely working on this spreadsheet thing that I've got to do, and then I had my lunch, walked the dogs around the block, and then came back up here and worked on a song for like 2 or 3 hours. And I remember feeling really happy that my hard work on the spreadsheet was enabling me to then come up here and make music. And I think that idea of kind of like earning the right to have the creative time might be something that really just helps spur me on, because I do think that I probably do deserve to have creative time, because I think everyone deserves to have creative time, but for some reason other things really get in the way a lot of the time, and there's no more time for that now. I do have more time in my life generally because I'm not looking at all of those silly websites with short phrases on them. So I would love to know how you organise your time. Are you a planning person? Do you make to-do lists? Do you do time blocking? I always love to nerd out about productivity and creativity. And as always, if you need a little nudge of creative encouragement today, I truly do believe that you deserve to spend some time on your passion this week. It can be 10 minutes, half an hour, 2 hours, whatever you can spare. I think it will make a difference to how you feel, and you deserve it. It's time for me to get back to work now, and I promise I won't work on the spreadsheet, I will work on the song. I'm excited about this one. And if you'd like to be in touch a little bit more and support the making of new music and videos, please consider joining the Correspondence Club on Patreon. Membership starts from just £5 a month, and as soon as you join you get immediate access to nearly 200 tracks, including my entire back catalogue of albums and the digital archive of the Correspondence Club and Super Sub Club zines and CD bundles in digital format. Plus the latest analogue bundle just came out, and there are fewer than 20 copies remaining in the whole world, so you can grab yours by heading to patreon.com/penfriendrocks. You can find that link in the description box below, along with a link to join my mailing list, where I will send you a free 12-track album and 31-page digital zine packed with stories, photos and artwork. And with that, I'm off to be a magical weirdo over there. I'll have more Tea and Empathy for you next Sunday, so I hope to see you then. In the meantime, have you watched this one yet? Ryan, can you see a friend? Ryan! Ryan. Ryan.